everyone, so I've just subscribed to Scrawlrbox, which is an art subscription box. I'm based in the UK but they do deliver worldwide, and it's £15 a month, and every month you get different art supplies. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. I've just decided to buy it for myself. You know, we're all in quarantine, so we need something cool to do. I was actually really surprised at how thin the box was. It has to go through the letterbox, but I did think it was going to be a bit thicker than that, so I was quite surprised. Unfortunately, because it's dropped through the letterbox and this month was charcoal supplies, a couple of the supplies did actually snap, but they were still totally usable. Here you can just see me unboxing it there. It's not as satisfying as I thought it was going to be. You can actually see in my box here that everything's fell out in the bottom, so you know, I don't get the full peely experience. You get a sweet, you get this putty eraser. Your charcoal's in there, one normal piece of charcoal and then 2 pieces of Willow, which is softer. You can actually see here everything's just completely ripped, so see ya. This is a normal charcoal pencil, which was a lot easier to use. It does come with a list of supplies here, but we don't need them. Every month you get a cute sticker which is related to the artwork. It came with some cotton buds, this sharpener, this Splender, which is like a blended pencil, a double-ended eraser which is also sharpenable, and it came with 2, it's a chalk pencils, but I couldn't find any mention of that online. I think they're pastel pencils. It came with this A5 pad, which is mixed media. It's quite heavy actually, that 250 GSM. This is their featured artist of the month, and I love this artwork. You get a print every month and you can frame it if you want, and they've just started doing this magazine as well. So this is all the supplies all together. As I said, there was a little bit of damage to the charcoal, but everything else came absolutely perfect. I'm just doing a couple of swatches here for you, just to see how they work together. This is the largest piece of charcoal, and it was the blackest. However, I did find it a bit scratchy on the paper. It wasn't that easy to blend. The next 2 are the Willow pieces, and then underneath are the pencils. The Willow pieces were slightly more greyish, but they were a lot easier to blend on the paper. By the way, the cotton buds that it comes with, they're apparently from the most eco-friendly brand in the UK, which is pretty cool. I'm assuming the middle piece is made out of wood, but I'd need to research that a little bit more. There's only some limited information on the card that it comes with. So this is the putty eraser. It's kind of like a big piece of blue tack or white tack, and once you've started rubbing out, if you find that it's getting a bit messy, a bit, you know, obviously it's going to get charcoal over it, you can just do what I've just done there and peel it and reshape it, and you can make it into a point or you can use it in a large area. I do actually already have 2 of these. I don't know if it's Faber Castell. I want to say Faber Castell. But it's probably wrong. I do actually already have 2 of these, and they have a more stiffer end and then a softer one, but they're really good for erasing small little parts. This is the Splender that it came with from Rembrandt, and basically it makes a glossy sheen over the top, so just be wary that you need to do this as your last step, because if you do it earlier on you'll damage the tooth of the paper and then you won't be able to add any more layers. As you can see here in the light, it just adds a glossy sheen. These 2 chalk / pastel pencils didn't fit in my normal pencil sharpener, which is an electric battery operated one. But luckily obviously it did come with a sharpener, which is hilariously named Cum. I'm never going to grow up, sorry. This is about as good as I could get the point on this one. By this point I'd felt like I'd really wasted a lot of the pencil. It kept snapping on me over and over again. I tried everything, so I learned my lesson with the sepia one, and I lost a lot less by, you know, I wasn't trying to make it as much of a big of a point. So now that all the supplies are ready, I got a little sketch ready and I taped it down on the sides, which is something I like to do with all of my artwork, just to give it a nice clean edge. And I decided to draw a wolf because I thought that would be, you know, they don't have an awful lot of colour, and I thought the sepia pencil would work well in with it as well. So these are my little broken pieces of charcoal. As I said, it's not my favourite medium, it's not something that I'm really that good at. You're supposed to work sort of out to in, like you would with oil paints, which is also something I'm not that great at. What I mean is, basically you have your basic shapes, you think about your contrast, you think about your shapes, and then afterwards you refine it into a lot more detailed piece at the end. But it's not the way that I'm used to working, so I really did find it difficult to use these. I still had a lot of fun, and I'm still really glad that I subscribed, because every month I'm going to be able to try something different. I find that sometimes I can stick within my comfort zone, which is normally watercolour or pencil, and I work kind of the same. So I'm hoping if I branch out a little bit I might learn something new. So it was just after this point I decided to change tack a little bit. When I stepped back and had a break and come back, I realised I'd just been working in my regular old way, starting off with the details, and I really wasn't getting anywhere. So there is a little bit of footage missing. I think that's... I film on my phone and it was really quite warm yesterday, so my phone kept overheating, and you can see a few artifacts as well, so I'm sorry about that. But basically all I did was I started using more of the charcoal rather than the pencils, and started filling in larger areas and just worrying about the fur later. So I completely changed the way that I normally draw, which is exactly what I wanted from it, really. I'm not sure whether or not I like the paper. It is multimedia paper, so I don't know if that's what you would normally use with charcoal, or I'm more used to using, I either use a Bristol board with my pencils, or I use some sort of pastel paper, which normally has a lot more texture. I was quite surprised on how smooth this paper was. The normal charcoal block, which is by Seawhite, was actually a little bit scratchy on the paper, and it was quite black, which is great for shadows, but I didn't end up using a lot of it, especially because, you know, using such a broad medium is just not my jam. The Coats Willow charcoal sticks, the ones that I said are slightly lighter, I did end up using quite a lot of them, mostly because they're a little bit smaller, but also because they were a lot easier to blend. They didn't leave any weird marks behind on the paper. You can actually see a little bit of weirdness in these clips. I think due to my phone overheating, it has an image stabilization feature, and it just ends up making it look a bit wiggly. I don't know why. So you can just see me here adding some final touches. I did enjoy the charcoal pencils. It's a little bit similar to what I'm used to, whereas the charcoal I still do think I'm going to have to practice a little bit more. I think overall I did really enjoy what was in the box. It was worth a little bit less than the £15, but it does vary. I'll leave some more information in the description box about what exactly came in the box and how much it's worth. The only other thing I'd like to mention is the tape that I normally use did damage the paper a little bit. You'll be able to see in a second, which is strange because it normally does peel off, especially in the heat. So thanks for watching my video and have a great day. Bye!